There's a new kid on the block, and it's this handheld device called the Playdate, whose unique features include a crank as an input mechanism, a black and white display, along with the fact that every device is a development kit, so anyone can make games for it. It hasn't shipped yet, and the full programming capabilities aren't quite available yet either, but you can start making games for it using this web-based game making tool called Pulp. Pulp has a lower resolution, and is by default designed for simple narrative adventure games, but I'm going to try and push the limits and make a 2D Minecraft clone, something along the lines of Minecraft, which was a 2D Minecraft-like game that was also created by Notch. Anyways, let's get right into it. First thing I did was create a little character and made it so you face the direction you're moving, so when you place and mine blocks you know which way you're facing. I also added a health system, along with the ability to swing a sword, both of which I added first since I made tutorials of them in the past. I then added the first mineable thing, the tree, and added a little progress bar to show how much you've mined it, since I didn't want to add a custom animation for breaking every block in the game. I then added a wooden log into the game, as well as getting started on the hotbar. My plan was to use the crank to select items on the hotbar. I also switched up the movement slightly to make it so that you face the direction before you move, which should help with more precise block placements. I added in wooden planks and cobblestone into the game, along with hooking up the hotbar to actually reflect how many blocks you have, so you can see when I break the wood, it updates the inventory count. Right after that, I sync the crank with an arrow that shows which item you're selecting on the hotbar. It's a little awkward on the browser since you either have to click and drag or use the scroll wheel, but I imagine on the actual Playdate it'll be much easier to control. Of course, what's Minecraft without building? So I coded up the ability to select a block with the crank and place it down with the A button, and matching that up with the inventory as well, so you can only place blocks that you have. Next up was a crafting system. Pulp has a room system built in, so an easy way to create a UI is to just create a separate room and move the player into that room. If you walk up to the crafting table and press A, you move into the crafting screen I mocked up. The cursor is actually just the player reskinned to an arrow and surrounded by invisible walls. I then added some functionality to the crafting, so the top right area shows the crafting recipe, and the bottom right shows what materials you have. I added the recipe for converting wooden logs to planks, as well as creating a crafting table. In the meantime, I found out if you rapidly switch directions, you can mine at double the speed, which was pretty fun, so I just left that in. And I also started implementing crafting for the tools. You can see that I don't have any tools right now, but once I craft the pickaxe and the hoe, I have them available. After adding iron ore and diamond ore to the game, I added different tiers of tools into the crafting system, that being wooden, stone, iron, and diamond. My idea for the different tiers was to affect the mining speed, so I didn't bother implementing them for the sword and the hoe. Next up was adding that mining speed effect. So you can see here that the stone axe is faster at cutting the wood by hand, but the diamond axe is insta mining the blocks. For the stone blocks, I made it the same as Minecraft, where you can only mine stone with at least a wooden pick. In the same way, iron can only be mined with at least a stone pick, and diamond can only be mined with at least an iron level pick. I wanted to have a cave with different levels and randomly generated blocks, like something out of Stardew Valley. So I created this cave entrance in the top right that leads to another room where I randomly generate the placement of blocks. The topmost level only has cobblestone, but if you venture down to the lower floors by reaching the bottom left, I start generating iron and diamond. I dropped in a slime enemy using some pathfinding code I made beforehand, and made it so the slime starts following you once you get within a certain range. Just like how you should be following this channel by subscribing for more content like this. Okay, I then started spawning in the slimes in the caves, with the deeper levels spawning in more slimes. It gets pretty dangerous since you have to switch between the pickaxe and the sword to fight the slimes, or you play this little puzzle game to try to find a path to dodge them. I planned on adding a simple farming system into the game, and that implies some passage of time, so I decided to add a day-night cycle. I sped it up to make it more obvious, but the clock next to your health in the top left shows the time, and when it becomes night, I invert the color of the screen. I then made it so the trees give you some saplings when you cut them down, and saplings have a 20% chance to grow into a tree every time the clock progresses. After that, I added wheat, seeds, and farmland to the game. You can use the hoe to till the ground, and then plant seeds into the farmland. The seeds also have a 20% chance to grow into wheat whenever the clock progresses. You can also now take the wheat and craft it into bread. With that added, I made it so you can eat the bread to regain some health. I finished it off by adding a soft wind condition when you reach a depth of 20 in the caves, a little starter area, and also some sound effects for everything in the game. Let's check it out. Okay, Pulpcraft. Let's do this. First thing we do is, as you do in Minecraft, start punching some trees. Looks like I have some saplings as well, so why don't I plant some of those right now too? Wood is an important priority in the beginning of the game. And then I think start crafting a pickaxe. Oh, I need some wooden planks first. Okay, craft this. Okay, let's pick up some cobblestone in here. Maybe we can build a house or something. even though there's no point in building a house since there's no monsters or anything that spawn at night, but just for fun, I guess. It's pretty slow with a wooden pickaxe, so I'm thinking that we should make a stone pickaxe first. So exit the cave. Oh, some of the trees grew, so maybe we can pick up some of those. Okay, I think we can make a stone pickaxe now. Wooden planks, of course. Cool. Waiting on the trees to, oh, turn nighttime. Oh, looks like some of the trees grew. Yeah, that's kind of a lot of what the beginning of the game is like, just waiting for trees to grow. Eventually you'll have so many trees it doesn't even matter. But let's start building a house. Okay, we're running out of cobblestone. Let's go back in the caves, actually. Okay, next level. Oh gosh, oh my gosh. There's a slime right there. Let's kill this slime. Get some iron. I'm gonna get some iron and then try to get out of the caves. Okay, I think I like the general setup I have going. I think you get the general idea. If you want to play the game or check out the source code, I left a link in the description. If you like this content, I think you'll really like this video, where I made my first 3D game about playing as a cow, gunning down farmers with a machine gun. See you next time.